Hey guys, it's Matt. I wanted to just kind of talk about some trades I made this week. Mostly because I usually lately have been doing the kind of the skeptical review series, and to be honest, I just haven't been feeling it lately because I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of listening to bullshit. So, there were a couple of them that we found that were pretty decent, but many of them were just hard to listen to, right? Especially from as someone who's got a pretty good bullshit detector, I just get tired of it sometimes. If those of you that don't know, I came from a fitness background, like health and fitness, and there's so much horse shit in that industry too. I mean, just lies and shitty marketing, and so yeah. At some point, I've just seen enough of it, and I got to take a break for a little while. So anyway, I figured we'd go through some trades here. Um, okay, so we'll look at NVDA first. So I've been in NVIDIA since back here on the 2nd. We'll just kind of talk about why I liked that trade. So yeah, basically it was pulling back. NVIDIA is a pretty strong stock. It is one of the market leaders, if not the kind of market leader, right? Everybody's got their eyes on it. Pulled back right into this nice, support zone here that had been obeyed a couple of times, right? And so I got long here. This was pre-market, but once the market opened, it took another stab down at it and then bounced back up. So I got long here in the 8 o'clock candle. It was like 8:11, I think, or something, and then set my stop down here below this other line. You can see it made a nice little pullback. So this kind of almost looks like a break and retest, as is popular to say these days. But anyway, got long here at a pretty tight stop, and then took partials up along the way, moved my stop to break even, and then even higher. And so uh, let's see. Yeah, I mean at this point we're above. Actually, let's zoom in on this real quick. Um, that didn't really work. Okay. Well, you can probably see this here. So this is how on Thinkorswim. This is how I put out my R multiples. So I just use it's this tool here, the quadrant lines tool, and I just have it set up so that if I draw it like this, the first spot is my entry, the second spot is my stop, and then it just does multiples from there. So basically the 200% thing, which I can't change that value to say 200% there. I wish I could just relabel that, but I can't. But that's 200% is 1R, and then 300% is 2R, and so on and so on, right? So at 900% here, we're up to 8R. So I've taken partials along the way, and actually, you can see I've got another set of these drawn over here. That's because I added back a partial this morning on this dip toward this support level here, which you can see it retested again later in the afternoon. So not sure that partial is probably going to hang on. I still have a pretty tight stop on just that piece of it, rather than kind of keeping my stop together there. But anyway, that's the NVIDIA trade for this week, or the past 2 weeks, I guess, because I think it was last Wednesday was the 2nd that I got into that. So nice little pullback into a great support zone there, and it looked good on the daily, honestly. If we look at NVIDIA lately, it's got this large downtrend line that it's following, right? It's compressing a little bit here, and hit a confluence of moving averages on that same day. I forgot to mention that. That was actually a big part of the reason too. You've got a couple of moving averages hanging out there, plus that support zone, plus we're getting near the downtrend line, right? Like it was a fucking perfect storm, guys. So just got long here and watched it go, right? So a little bit of a pullback or consolidation maybe today. I mean, it did hit a newer high, but it looks like it might close. We've still got 30 minutes left to the close, but we've got some time left there. But it looks like it might close a little lower than it did yesterday. But I'm also in AFRM, a firm. So similar story here. You can see this. We had this big down channel kind of. And then it gapped up on earnings, and it's pretty much held that gap. Except for this little wick here, it held this gap, and so pulled back to it again with a pretty steep downtrend line. And Affirm's kind of it's kind of all over the place. It's a pretty volatile traders, right? So smaller size on this one, but basically when I saw it, it kind of broke the downtrend line just through sideways consolidation. Not through any like super duper awesome bullish price action, but just kind of consolidating sideways rather than continuing the downtrend, which would have forced it into this gap more, right? And so you can see that it's holding that gap by moving sideways and breaks the downtrend line because of it. Then when I saw it gap up this day, which is yesterday, and then pull back, that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to get in on that pullback if we get it. So you can see it gapped up here pre-market, and then did a nice little pullback here and bounced, and it pulled back right to the support line, right, which is this channel that it had traded in for a day or two or three here, right? So it was respecting the top of this here a couple of times, and then it broke through that overnight from pre-market, and then it respected that here, tapped it, and then I got long as it pulled back to this area. So you can see my entry here was at like 39.7. My initial stop was 38.7. It's not always $1 like that. I just figured, all right, if we're halfway through this channel, my thesis is probably invalid, right? Now it could have pulled back maybe to this support level, and then I would have had a decision to make then. So if it blew through my stop, I could have just re-entered down here, right? If I felt like if it was strong for a bounce. So anyway, we're in this. It gapped up again overnight, and kind of did some good stuff today. I took a partial in this earlier this morning. Actually, I took a partial yesterday and moved my stop, and then took a partial again today. So it's up around 3R at this point. It's looking good. And I also took a trade on Visa today. I'll show you what I'm looking for. So one, I just like this time of year for Visa and MasterCard seemed to do pretty well. This had a good run earlier, through this period here, and then a pretty steep pullback here, but found some support here through the moving averages here, the 50-day, and then broke through the 10 this morning. So I bought this one on a pullback to let's see. Oh no, I didn't. I'm sorry. This one was just a very easy using the daily candles. So as it broke this high here of yesterday's candle, had a nice tight inside day there yesterday. So as it broke yesterday's candle, I entered, put a stop down here, not quite past the low of yesterday, but let's see. Yeah, just below today's action was what I was going for there. Anyway, that logic doesn't make sense. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember why I was like, oh, I'm just going to put my stop right here. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like I maybe should have had a wider stop there, but anyway, it's working out so far. I haven't taken a partial in that yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this position on, to be honest, because I don't have a whole lot of room, and there's always overnight gap risk. So this is one that I was like, this isn't an A+ trade. I don't love it, but it's definitely not like NVDA and AFRM. So we'll see. Those might change. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hit the like button if you liked it. Leave me a comment and tell me why I'm an idiot for doing whatever I did, or cheer me on, and we'll all make money together. All right, see you.